Okay. I also need tissues, so just hold on one second. Okay, now we have everything we need, I think. Hi, Christine. Hi, Caress. Good morning, Anna. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Misty. Good morning, Nancy. Hi, beautiful Bo. Hi, Tara. Suzette and Raul and Susan. Claudia and Jules. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my morning show. Oh my God. Excuse me one second. I should have done that before I hit live, but I didn't. So, oh no, now my ears clogged. Man. And I was walking into the office and I had my hands full because I also brought my breakfast to share with you. And I had my phone, like all this stuff, and I was holding the mug, like not with the handle. And I was like, this is fine. But it wasn't. And it was like burning my hand, but I was unwilling to create the mess. And you know what I mean? I was unwilling to do that. So I just kind of like just a little bit burned my hand. So no problem. No problem. Okay. Oh my gosh. This should be interesting this morning. I have an echo chamber in my head. So anyhow, I've been sick this week, which is very annoying. And like I just feel so angry and like disappointed that this has happened to me because I don't know, I went all winter without really getting sick. And like people had COVID here and like GI problems. Like there were so many things that happened. And usually like every winter I'm sick. Remember, guys? Like I'm always sick. And not this time. I didn't get sick like once. And if I felt like I was sick, like it was just like 24 hours and I was back. And then I got sick this week. And I was like, no, so rude. And I'm such a bitch right now. Like I'm just bitchy and like mean because I'm uncomfortable, but I also don't want anyone to help me. You know what I mean? Like leave me the fuck alone, but also so I'm just a delight. Megan was like, I'm so excited to see you later. And I was like, why? Like I'm such an asshole right now. I'm just gonna be mean to you. It's okay. Hi, Cindy. I will say though, aside from my sickness and shitty mood, maybe the energy is about to shift, right? What do you think? Like, what do you think? We're due, right? I feel like we should be good. Like, we're due for the energy shift. So, I'm gonna hope that that figures itself out this weekend. You know, unreal. Anyway, I don't usually eat on here. I know some people have misophonia. Nothing I'm eating is necessarily crunchy, but I feel like I need the food, and the chewing is helping clear my ears. So I'm doing that. But welcome to Coffee Magic. If you haven't been here before, it's not always sick like this. Um, it's sick in different ways. But we're going to pull some cards and get you some messages for this weekend, see if you like them. Um, we had a real doozy of a full moon this week, right? It was a Scorpio full moon. And like, I'm a Scorpio and I I really love my scorpionic vibes, but I will say this one was really pushing it. It was really pushing, the crazy hot ratio on Scorpio energy because, like, come on, right? And for those of my Scorpio moon friends, especially, like, I know we're very deeply affected by this energy. But you know, that's moved on. Retrograde is descending. We're moving out of that energy, and that eclipse energy has been sticking with us pretty strong, and we're about to be exiting that. So all signs point to the shift, and I think we should all put our collective energy in that direction because it would be really great um, to have that as a thing that we do. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's do roll call. How are you feeling? Um, 1 to 10, with 1 being our classic roadkill and 10 being a fully animated being. How are you feeling today? Number 2. Oh no. Oh no. All right. Wow, we're all over the place, huh? Okay. Good morning, Jam. Mm, all right. So we're ranging from like 2 to 8. Nancy's feeling the shift. Yesterday was a 2. Today is an 8. All right. All right. I love it. Oh, Yvonne, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, so many people have lost their pets in the past week and a half. Like, it's so sad. Even when it's like we've lived a long life and everything, it's so, so sad. I'm so sorry. I'm sending you lots of love. These fucking animals. Thank you. Oh, Janelle. Janelle says when you eat, I think I knew it. I haven't seen I haven't seen any of those videos on my feed lately. My breakfast is really good. I've been like hyper focused on this breakfast food. I don't usually eat breakfast. And I don't usually eat bananas or yogurt, but I'm eating all those things now. It's very delicious altogether. All right, so let me give you your 3 things. And I'm like really meandering over here. Give you your 3 things. For some reason, the first one is bee pollen. Okay. Should we just do pollens altogether because they're driving our allergies crazy? Um, why don't we? Bee pollen, tulip, and dandelion. Those are the 3 that are coming to mind. So bee pollen, tulip, and dandelion. Good morning, Michelle. Those are your 3 choices for today. Bee pollen, tulip, and dandelion. Good morning, endless Saturn. All right. Whew. Bee pollen, tulip, and dandelion. Those are your choices that will correspond to your message for this morning. And I am pulling, as usual, from the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle deck. Pull up there and read. All right. Tell me when you're ready for bee pollen. Did anybody even choose bee pollen? Some of you picked all three. Hey, Alex. Are you so ready, babe? Okay. Bee pollen, tulip, and dandelion. Bee pollen is here. Bee pollen, tulip, and dandelion. Bee pollen, tulip, and dandelion. My goodness. Don't you start talking to myself. Okay, here's your bee pollen. You've got wealth, forgiveness, and the butterfly. Okay, so this is my bee pollen message for you guys. So, wealth and forgiveness. Oof, right? What a thing. So, if there was going to be a fourth card for this pull, it would be the fear card. She giggles. So, anyway, there is a lot of abundant energy surrounding you. You probably know this because, like, if you're a TikTok person, you probably open TikTok and, like, some person's on there being like, oh, no hashtags. This message is for you. Big abundance is coming your way, right? Anyone else? It's like, and incessantly nonstop getting that message that, like, something's about to land. You're about to have this, like, big windfall of abundant energy, yada, 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 so on and so forth. And you're kind of like, this sounds great. Um, but what does that mean? And like, how do I access it? And like, where is it coming from? And, whatever, right? And it can make you feel kind of cranky, honestly, because it's like, what the fuck? Like, is this a game? A weird game that we're playing that we just keep saying abundance is coming and like maybe it does or doesn't, right? Like the dangling carrot in front of us. Here's the part that maybe you haven't tapped into yet about this abundant energy that's coming for you, or like that is all around you apparently, like just ready to pop. It requires a little bit of retro work. Okay. If you think about the concept of time is nonlinear, meaning everything that you do in the present affects the future, and the future affects the past, right? It necessitates your ability not to release necessarily, but to forgive some energies in your present so that you don't drag them into the future and keep repeating patterns. Okay. So this abundant energy isn't it don't think of it as money because your brain isn't allowing you to conceptualize money as the freedom that it can be right now because you're too tied up in a lot of old stories. And who is at the heart of all of these old stories, right? Maybe in the way that you're authoring it or you have been authoring it, you're not the one. It's always somebody else, right? It's like, well, I was in this relationship and this person was unkind to me, and then this thing happened, which was out of my control, and yada, 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 so forth, so on. But here's the thing, you are always the common denominator in your shared experiences, right? You are the thing that is always there as you have these experiences. So the forgiveness is not for other people who have wronged you or who have played a part in some misery that has befallen your life. The forgiveness is for you, the one who is always present for every single thing that ever happens to you. Okay? You're always in the room. So it's not about anybody else. It's easier to be about somebody else, right? That's better in our brains because then it's not our fault, right? But if you really want to do this once and for all and not keep looping through the same thing, the forgiveness is for you. The common denominator in your life is you. Once you square this away, you'll be surprised how much space you make for abundance to come in and new ideas, new timelines, new experiences. And again, once you tap into that space, it opens up your ability to be very present. And when you're very present, you can see the beauty in the minutia. And that is probably the key to everything, isn't it? To be present and see the beauty in the minutia. So, excuse me, that's your bee pollen message for today. Sorry, I'm so stuffy. When I say sorry, I'm sorry to myself. I'm sorry I'm experiencing this. Anyway, that was your bee pollen message. Your other ones are tulip and dandelion. So if you're just joining us, maybe tulip or dandelion will be for you. But if you missed bee pollen and you feel like that was for you, you can always watch the replay. Once I'm finished here, it's available on Instagram and YouTube. As a reminder, you can always support Coffee and Magic by sending me a cup of coffee through the link in my bio on Instagram or TikTok or my website, sarahamala.com. Scrolling all the way down. I think I'm going to have to blow my nose again. I'm almost kind of scared to do it, but I'm going to have to do it. So, pardon. Oh, all right. We did it. I might have some oregano oil still from back in my doTERRA days. All right, here we go. Shuffling for tulip. Wow, that's a different energy than the first one. Tulip is a lot different than bee pollen. That's your sneak peek. It's a lot different. Okay. Tell me when you're ready for tulip. All right, we're ready. So you have the horse, the stag, and communication. What? um, horse, stag, and communication for your tulip message. All right. So if like tulip was locking and loading for you, you are actually in a bit of an action moment. Okay. It isn't a sit back and see what happens moment at all, which is interesting because like I would say like as a person, my go-to advice is always to kind of sit back, reflect, and just pay attention to things before like jumping in, right? But not not so for this pull. This is a full force, let's go. You have to do some things. You're the one. Don't wait for other people this time. And good timing as we're like moving out of that Mercury retrograde, right? Which can sometimes make communication a bit sticky. There's something that's been on your mind, fucking say it. We're real precious about our talky talks, aren't we? especially when they're connected to our feely feels. We're like, oh man, I will not be caught with my words hanging out there, right? Absolutely not, especially if they're attached to actual genuine feelings that people can possibly use against me, right? If that's your Mercury and Scorpio kind of vibes, it's time to look at that, right? Because the communication is necessary. Like, what are you doing if you're not making it clear where you stand on things and what you want and how you want to go about those things, right? Like, what are you waiting for? Who are you waiting for to step in? Did you hire a PR firm? Do you think like a spirit guide's going to jump down and do the talking for you? Like, what do you think is happening? You are the one who needs to actually be in the physical body and then say the actual words. You are the one that needs to stand in the room and take up all the space. Not all of it, but the space that's yours. You are the one who walks in and says, I'm calling shots because turns out it's my life. Turns out if I want something, I can ask for it. You can say you don't get to have it. You can say I don't want to play this game, and then I can say I will decide whether or not I want to be here anymore, right? Say the things, throw it down. It's like that old fashioned thing that they used to do of throwing the gauntlet, right? And I believe the gauntlet was like that knight's glove, right? And it was to indicate a challenge. It's like, let's go. Let's put it all out there. Bam. You want to rumble? Let's go. And then look, we have the horse charging forth. Are you riding him? Are you ready to go? There's no fear card here. Okay. That is your tulip message for today. All right. Shuffling for the last one, which is dandelion. You know, I was outside in my yard with someone the other day. And I have a bunch of purple nettle on the edge of my grass. And they started like yanking them out kind of aggressively. And I was like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, these fucking purple nettles are everywhere. They're weeds. And I was like, who says that? Like who says they're weeds? And I don't think they'd ever thought about that before. Like I don't think they'd ever stopped and thought, like, wait, why do I think these are weeds? I was like, leave the fucking purple nettles there. Like I like them. I think they look pretty. Like they look good to me. And the pollinators like them. Like it's okay, right? But you just like, who says it's a fucking weed? Some dude selling Roundup? What the fuck? Unreal. Anyway, this will be dandelion. No, no one pulled the dandelion too. My whole backyard is full of dandelions and nettles and um, violets, although those are moving out now, and clover. Like, why not? So weird. I think they're pretty. Do you know what I also think? I think that like people don't like weeds because of how strong they are. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever pulled a weed? Like, they don't really want to leave. They are incredibly tenacious, right? Like they just like, oh. But then you get some fancy fucking flower or plant that you put in there and it's so delicate and you just breathe wrong on it and it just falls over. It's interesting, right? That the most tenacious of plants we say don't belong there, and we fight them constantly as they try to exist, and then try to put in the most delicate plants that don't really belong there at all and make it a good environment for them while completely um, waging war on the actual native plants that are supposed to be here. It's so weird. Ugh. Anyway, oh my god, how funny! How funny is this? Hold on. See, Nancy? Next, my grandma always said that if you're not sure if something is a weed, pull on it, and if it comes out, it's not a weed. If that doesn't tell you everything, what is wrong with us, right? It's like you want to be here, so you must not belong. All right, well, funnily enough, here's a bee. I think that's funny. Okay, and look, here's perception, and here's truth. It's like I was telling you about this card pull before the cards landed, and that's really funny to me. So I'll just kind of reiterate my metaphor because it's actually what this is about. Rethink your truth, right? Rethink the things that you automatically think you know in your brain. Because maybe, just maybe, upon reflection, it doesn't make any fucking sense, right? Like, why do we work so hard? Why are we working so hard? If the weeds are tenacious and hardy and want to be there with us and cling to life with the sort of vigor that we could only dream to have, um, maybe we start to see them not as the enemy, right? Maybe we look at this from a different perspective. Can you look at yourself that way? What parts of yourself have you decided are weeds and need to be removed, right? And replaced with the delicate ideas of self that others have said are pretty and right and good and productive, right? You thought about that? These ideas, these ways of being that are not native to you? Like, what weeds of self have you been so tenaciously pulling out and they just keep growing back? What would happen if you just let go and let the fucking purple nettles do their thing, right? Like, what would happen if you just stopped and you just said, okay, it's just who I am, just a big old weed, right? And again, like one person's weed is another person's treasure because I think, just as all of you in the comments are saying, there's so many medicinal benefits to all of these weeds. It's weeds. It's hysterical. I know purple nettle is used a lot. I know dandelion is used a lot. I know violets are used a lot. Like all of these weed things are medicines that we're just ripping from the ground as they grow up in the timing that we need them, right? So, hey, maybe there's nothing wrong with you at all, and you should stop fucking with yourself, right? Maybe the problem is the society around you that has so fucked your brain into thinking that what grows naturally within you is not good enough and needs to be replanted with something that is not from you at all, right? With some fucking tree from halfway around the world that doesn't really thrive here and messes with the natural ecosystem. You didn't know that today on Coffee and Magic, I was going to show up not only with a cold and my breakfast, but with a lecture on native growth and I don't know, landscape architecture. Like I don't know what's going on, but anyway, this is what you got for today. Save the bees of your soul. Let the weeds be, and maybe stop calling them weeds and instead call them what they are and learn what they're there for. Okay. So that's your coffee and magic for this morning. Thanks for being here with me today. I'm loving you. I'll be back on Monday and we can do more talkie talks and card pulls. Hopefully, I'll be feeling better then. It better be. Otherwise, I'm gonna be real bitchy. If I'm not better by, I'm gonna be a bitch. So just be ready for that. A few reminders for you. Normalized Magic Workshop will be reopening the doors for season 6 very soon. So if you are interested in joining, just send me a note, an email. I will be sending out a real, like, business email soon, for those who are interested in joining our Normalized Magic Workshop family, which is pretty much the best. And that is pretty much all I have for you today. So goodbye. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your beats. Mwah.